Good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, September 17th, 2019 to order. Will the city call the roll, please?
Ms. Defoe?
Here.
Ms. Selesny?
Here.
Mr. Wygum?
Here.
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Mr. Friedman?
Here.
Madam Chairperson, you have a quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
Not at this time.
Okay, so let's move into the public hearing. For those of you who haven't joined us before, let me give you a quick explanation of how we conduct business. The city will call the case by the case number. They'll read a short summary of the case. We ask you as the appellant to step forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there's also a sign-in sheet if you'd sign in for us. Explain to us what you're asking for and why. You can be as brief or as long as you'd like to take. The city will then read a findings of fact. If you will agree with those facts or add anything else once they finish. Then we'll open it up to the public if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on the case. And then we'll turn it over to the board to deliberate on that case and then move on to the next case. Okay, so will the city call the first case, please?
For ZBA case 1920, the appellant MNC and ANC Professional Services, LLC, Matthew Newman, representing the owner, Aziz and Lorna Abraham, are requesting the following waivers from the board for an additional wall sign placed on the side of a building not considered frontage. The property is located on the west side of Southfield Road between West 12 Mile and West 13 Mile Roads at 29205 and 29255 Southfield Road, Sidwell parcel 24114790067, Zone B2, Planned Business. This appeals to Section 8.58, Article 10, and Article 2, Section 8.33, Paragraph 14, Chapter 99 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance.
Thank you. Hi, good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
If you could each introduce yourselves and state your name and address, please.
My name is Matthew Newman. I'm with MNC and ANC Professional Services, representing Howard with House of Watchbands in here in regards to replacing an existing sign that's already on the building.
Okay, can you state your address for the record, please?
72 Pinewood Drive, White Lake, Michigan.
Thank you.
My name's Alyssa Goldberg. My family has owned the House of Watchband since 1927. My address is 26223 Valhalla Drive, Farmington Hills, Michigan, 48331.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Howard Goldberg, Alyssa's husband. 26223 Valhalla Drive, Farmington Hills, Michigan. I've been a part of the House of Watchband since 1978. We are probably the longest running tenant in the Southfield Commons Plaza.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to explain to us what you're asking for?
We are looking to take down the existing sign that's facing north on the building and replace it with a new sign of the same nature. We're going to be transferring the existing letters that are on there over to the new sign because they were upgraded a while back, as well as the logo. The problem with the sign is the raceway has deteriorated, and we're putting a new raceway on it and upgrading it to a new aluminum raceway with aluminum face with the letters.
Okay.
And it's all LED lighting too as well.
Okay, thank you.
I have
sure.
photos of the one sign that has been redone as well as the existing one that we're looking to redo.
Okay.
If you'd like to pass these and look at them. And that's the redone one. That's the one that needs to be redone. And just a little history when we moved in.
Okay, I need you to step back here to the microphone, please.
We can't pick you up if you're not.
So we've come a long way, going back to very ugly box signs back in '78 to our present sign to the newest version of it.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 1920, the appellant MNC and ANC Professional Services, LLC, Matthew Newman, representing the owner Aziz and Lorna Abraham, is requesting the following waivers from the board for an additional wall sign placed on the side of a building not considered frontage. The property is located on the west side of Southfield Road between West 12 Mile and 13 Mile Roads at 29205 and 29255 Southfield Road. Sidwell parcel 24114790067, Zone B2, Planned Business. To the north, the property is zoned B1 Neighborhood Business and currently developed with a retail center. To the south, the property is zoned B2 Planned Business and currently developed with the Applebee's restaurant. To the west, separated by a 6-foot masonry wall, the property is zoned RMM, multifamily residential medium rise, and is developed with the 12 North apartment complex, and RA single-family residential developed with single-family dwellings along Guy Street. To the east, across Southfield Road, the property is zoned OS Office Service and is currently developed with a 2-story office building and a Comerica Bank. The site has mature landscaping consisting of large trees along the Southfield Road frontage. The appellant occupies the corner tenant space with the Watch Band's retail business. They have the option to place the one wall sign permitted by ordinance on either the north or east elevations. The retail plaza to the south has multiple tenant spaces, and the businesses have one wall sign each. A survey of signage at the site reveals the following: 2 ground signs advertising Southfield's Pancake House and Einstein Brothers Bagels, which each have had previous Zoning Board of Appeals waivers. The subject tenant space has 2 wall signs that include 1 legal non-conforming sign. The wall sign along the Southfield Road frontage has been recently permitted to be rebuilt. The wall sign on the north elevation is in extreme disrepair due to lack of maintenance. A temporary for-lease sign along Southfield Road frontage also exists. The sign ordinance in the B2 planned business zone, where the site is located, permits 1 wall sign per tenant at a ratio of 2 square feet of sign area per linear foot of building frontage, with a maximum of 200 square feet.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
That sounds correct.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to also say that in 8 more years, we will be 100 years in business. We hope to celebrate that as a 3rd generation operating our business. And in this day and age of fighting against the internet, we need everything we can to stay relevant, and signage is important. And, you know, we just want to make things right.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
The staff's recommendation is to deny the secondary wall sign based on the following. This recommendation is based on the following: no other tenant space in the retail center has a second wall sign. Watch bands could place the wall sign on either the north or east elevations. The sign has not been maintained over the years, and the property owner could convert one of the existing single-tenant ground signs to display up to 3 tenants as permitted by ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to add at this point?
I think we're the only spot in the center that has
2 entrances and
Everybody else is just
front
a
entrance,
single
side
dwelling.
entrance,
Yeah.
as well as, I believe, we have 60 feet of glass running along the side of the building, and I believe it's 60 feet of glass frontage on the front. So we have probably more square footage than any other single tenant in the center, too.
Okay. All right, so if you'll have a seat in the front row, we'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this case? If so, please step forward. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Wygum?
I frequented your shop when it was downtown Detroit, probably your father in a wheelchair.
That is correct, your dad.
If you guys want to step back up to the podium, since there was nobody, we just want to make sure we get everything on the record.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
I see a problem with this because the entrance is on the north side, and they need a sign there on the north side. They have one on the east side, which faces the traffic, and you're coming by, but I don't have a problem with this one. I think it's a little bit different. The other ones that say that they don't have 2 signs, well, there's no way they can have 2 signs. But in this case, that's where they go. That's where you go in to their store, and I really believe, and I go there, and I use that sign. The one on that is facing
Be the north side.
Southfield Road is, to me, I think they really do need two signs. They're a going business, and I needed it for identification, so I will not go along with the city on this.
Okay, Mr. Rogers?
I'm into historical things, so the Watch Bands has been around a long time, and they have it looked like two addresses side by side that front Southfield Road, and it's also like a bulkhead in an aisle, that space, and I don't believe to penalize them to take down the sign that's facing the north because they want to redo the two signs to make everything nice and updated, and holding them responsible for lack of maintenance also is not relevant to today. So I'm also going to go against the recommendation and you know, recommend this variance.
Okay, Ms. Selesny?
Yes, I agree with my colleagues. This building is unique. I'm also a customer. This place is unique in that the entrance wraps around on two sides, and it's all glass. And Southfield is a very, very fast-paced road, as everybody here knows. I think that it's for the safety features and for their business. I am happy that they are fixing it up, and if I don't want to penalize them for finally fixing that sign, which definitely needs it, and Mr. Gardella, it's not oversized. The two signs together are not oversized, are they?
If I might, through the chair, no, they aren't. And I believe do you have multiple, do you have an entrance off of both sides?
There are two entrances.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it's
Yes.
not over?
No, it's not over
the
square footage if they had one
allowable
sign,
footage.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm in favor of this grant.
Okay. Mr. Friedman?
I agree with everything my colleagues have said. I, too, have been a customer. And I think, you know, it's important to have the sign on Southfield Road as well as the sign over the door on the north side. So, and I'm, you know, glad that you are updating your signs. I think, you know, if the problem is that they haven't been updating their signs, it's just good to see that they are at this point. So I would approve.
Okay, I don't have any other questions or anything to add, so who wants to take a stab at a motion? I am looking at you.
All right. In regard to ZBA, excuse me, ZBA case 1920, the appellant NMC and ANC Professional Services, LLC, Matthews Newman, representing the owner Aziz and Lorna Abraham, requesting the following waivers from the board. An additional wall sign placed on the side of a building not considered frontage. The property is located on the west side of Southfield Road between West 12 Mile Road and West 13 Mile Road at 29205 and 29255 Southfield Road, Sidwell parcel 2411-479-067, Zone B2 planned business. This appeal is to section 8.5B, 5.8, Article 11, and Article 2, Section 833, Paragraph 14, Chapter 99 of the Southfield Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance. And I make a recommendation. It's not a recommendation.
Make a motion?
I make a motion, sorry. I make a motion that we approve this additional sign.
Okay, do we want to put a condition on it, the no banners, balloon structures?
Yes, that there will be no, I don't know how you put it on the top, but any other place, no banners, balloon structures.
Portable signs or
Other
vehicles
signs.
or persons displaying signage visible to the right-of-way as required by ordinance.
I agree with that.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you for staying in business and keeping your business in Southfield and updating your signage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Will the city call the next case, please?
Yes, for ZBA case 1921, the appellant Sherry Levy, representing the owner John and Emily Izzo, is requesting the following waivers from the board for a variance of 21 feet of landscaping on the west side of the site, 25 feet required, 4 feet average proposed, a variance of 5 feet of landscaping on the north side of the site, 25 feet required, 20 feet proposed, a variance of 11 feet 8 inches of east side yard building setback, 50 feet required, 38 feet 4 inches proposed, a variance of 32 feet of north side building setback, 50 feet required, 18 feet proposed, and a variance to permit a 6-foot-high vinyl fence in lieu of the required masonry wall. The property is located on the northeast corner of 11 Mile and Bell Roads at Sidwell parcel 2416453-015 at 22960 West 11 Mile Road, zoned R4 Single Family Residential. This appeals to section 5.62, paragraph B, subsection 4, article 5, chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance.
Zoning ordinance? Zoning ordinance, not the sign ordinance, right?
Sorry, did I say sign
You
ordinance?
did. Okay, just making sure. Hi, good evening.
Wow.
Hi,
If you could both introduce yourselves, please, with your name and your address.
I'm Sherry Levy. I live at 22334 Chatsford Circuit, Southfield, Michigan, 48034.
Thank you.
And my name is Jeff Budde. I'm the architect and the team leader for the architects, engineers, and landscape architects who have prepared these documents for this event.
Okay, did you give us your address, sir? I'm sorry.
My address is 28105 Greenfield, Southfield, Michigan.
Okay, thank you very much. Who would like to explain to us what you're asking for and why?
What we're looking for, we're designing a mikvah for the community that Sherry represents, and it's a small religious ceremonial facility. They've set up to purchase this land and develop this mikvah on the property. We've worked with the planning department and the engineering department and the other groups here in the city over the last 6 months to put together a plan that everyone has been thrilled with. And the small scale of this facility and the way it fits into the neighborhood and the way that we've landscaped it and provided the parking and sited the building is one that's very effective and very much in keeping with the neighborhood. And in order to do that, because the site was originally zoned as multifamily, we had it rezoned to R4, which allows for the religious facility to be placed on it. But then because it's a small scale site, it's a home site basically, a large one, but it's still a home site. We're actually designing a facility that's a little smaller than most of the homes in the neighborhood and very low scale, and it fits in very well. And in order to do that and provide a nice site with a lot of landscaping and such, we required each of these variances. So we've walked each of these through with the planning department and the landscape review and the engineering reviews, and we've gotten full support from everybody and actually a lot of enthusiasm for the project. And we're looking for your support again today.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 19-0021, the appellant Sherry Levy, representing the owner John and Emily Izzo, is requesting the following from the board: a variance of 21 feet of landscaping on the west side of the site, 25 feet required, 4 feet average proposed, A variance of 5 feet of landscaping on the north side of the site, 25 feet required, 20 feet proposed. A variance of 11 feet 8 inches of east side building setback, 50 feet required, 38 feet 4 inches proposed. A variance of 32 feet of north side building setback, 50 feet required, 18 feet proposed. And a variance to permit a 6-foot high vinyl fence in lieu of the required masonry wall. The property is located at the northeast corner of 11 Mile and Bell Roads, Sidwell parcel 2416453015 at 22960 West 11 Mile Road, zoned R4 single family residential. The subject property is developed with a former single family home recently rezoned and site approved for a mikvah, which is a ritual bath for religious use. The properties to the north and east are zoned RT attached single family residential and are developed as single-family homes fronting Bell and 11 Mile Roads respectively. The property to the south across 11 Mile Road is zoned OS Office Service and is developed with a cell tower and associated equipment. The property to the west across Bell Road is zoned R4 single-family residential and is developed with the Sherry Zedek Congregation Synagogue. The site contains 0.49 acres of land with 114.85 feet of frontage on 11 Mile Road and a depth of approximately 174 feet along Bell Road. The approved site plan indicates the demolition of the existing single-family home and the construction of a 1,400 square foot mikvah with associated parking. The property was rezoned from RT attached single-family residential to R4 single-family residential and granted special land use approval on August 12, 2019 to allow for the religious use. The landscape variances and building setback variances are needed to satisfy parking and stormwater detention requirements on the relatively small lot. The south edge of the proposed building, including the future addition, will be in line with the existing residential home to the east, fronting 11 Mile Road. If this were a new single-family home fronting Bell Road, the proposed building setbacks would meet zoning ordinance requirements. A portion of the existing landscape area abutting Bell Road must be eliminated to provide required off-street parking while providing minimum driveway widths and maintaining room for stormwater detention. 15 feet of landscaping exists between the curb line of Bell Road and the western property line within the city's Bell Road right-of-way. A 6-foot high masonry wall is required along the north and east property lines where abutting single-family residential use. The petitioner wishes to maintain the existing 6-foot high white vinyl fence that was constructed and based on historical aerial photographs sometime between 2012 and 2014. The approved landscape plan indicates the removal of 2 box elders in poor condition as recommended by the city landscape design coordinator, the retention of 3 box elders and 1 walnut tree at the north end of the property, the retention of a large spruce at the southwest corner of the property, and the addition of 1 deciduous tree, 47 deciduous shrubs, 33 evergreen shrubs, ornamental grasses, and perennial beds.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, can you read the staff's recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is to approve based upon the following findings. The east and north side yard building setback variances requested will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties, especially since the proposed structure with future addition will be in line with the existing home to the east. Additionally, the existing 6-foot high vinyl fence and tree line to the north and the existing fence to the east with large rain garden will provide adequate buffer from the residents to the east. The existing vinyl fence has provided adequate buffer to the site for at least 5 years. Increasing the landscaping along Bell Road would shift the entire development further east towards the adjacent homes, minimizing the buffer and decreasing the area needed for required stormwater detention. The site is unique in that there is a significant 15-foot landscape strip within the Bell Road right-of-way which provides adequate buffer from traffic on Bell Road. The proposed landscape plan indicates compliance with city ordinances pertaining to tree removal and required landscape area on the overall site and will also provide enhanced curb appeal. The variance for landscaping abutting a street will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties and is in character with the zoning ordinance, and that the transitional nature of the area is maintained even with the deficiency in landscaping abutting the street. The property is situated at a highly trafficked intersection, and the use and proposed layout provides proper transition between the synagogue to the west, cell towers to the north, or south, and the residential properties to the north and east.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add right now, or else we can open it up to public comment? Okay, if you'll have a seat in the front row. Is there anyone from the public here who wishes to speak on this case, ask questions on this case, or anything else? Now is your opportunity. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Ms. Selesny?
I agree with all the findings of the city, and I agree with their recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Friedman?
I don't have any issues with any of it. I don't love the vinyl fencing remaining there. I mean, we're switching from the residential use, but I go along with it.
Okay. Mr. Wygum?
What is a mikveh?
It's a ceremonial bathhouse for the women of the community.
It's for men?
For the women.
Oh, for women.
If you want to explain more, you're more than welcome.
As part of Jewish married life, a woman is required once a month to go to the ritual bath in order to resume relations with her husband.
Okay. I don't have really a problem. I have some questions. Now, are you planning just to demolish that home?
Yes.
I mean, it's a nice little home. There's no way you can pick it up and move it someplace? Have you thought of that?
We did. The city planning department recommended the demolition of the home.
Yeah, we initially were going to keep.
You speak to the mic.
We initially had planned to keep that structure and amend it so that we could attach to it and utilize that structure. In working with the city, they felt there was some difficulties with doing that because it left for a larger footprint on the property than we ended up with. And once they obtain the ownership of the land, they'll have to make decisions about our construction and how we're going to go about the producing of this facility. And the picking up of the home and moving it is certainly an option for them. But we haven't got that far because we're not through the planning process yet.
Well, I'd like you to think about it. It's a nice little home, and I don't know, Ed, I don't know that I've ever seen it. Other places I've seen it, a home picked up and put someplace else.
I've actually moved about a dozen houses in my career exactly like that. You just pick them up and you put them on another parcel of dirt.
Yeah.
You have to have the other parcel. It has to be something that's appropriate and sized, and it has to be available in a timely way for whatever construction is going to take place on your property. Those are all, important things to consider, and I'm sure that they've been prudent all the way through this exercise, and such prudence is something that we should take into account.
My next question is the garage, and I can't remember seeing a garage with a little portico up there and a little window. Is that a two-story garage?
No, it's not.
I saw poles or something sticking.
It's got a steep roof, and it's a two-car garage.
Well, that's also in very good shape, and I would think that maybe someone wanted, or maybe you'd move it. The other thing is, and this comes back to the landscaping, you said you're going to remove 2 box elder. Now, I went out there and checked it, and there isn't the amount of box elders that you said. There's one that comes out and it's got 2 stems, and I assume the one that's leaning over towards the house is, I assume, and that's what I would recommend, that you take down.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, and are you counting that as 2?
I believe it was counted as 2 because
okay. Well, the one next to it is not a box elder, but a mulberry. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice tree, and it's very straight, and it goes up, and The only problem with mulberry is that they have mulberries in the fall, and of course the birds flock in. But I have no problem with this, and it's an interesting property, and I think that you've laid it out with the planning department. You've done a good job. So
Thank
my
you
only
very much.
recommendation would be that if you can find some way to save those nice structures and move it someplace else, someone will have a nice home. Whatever.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, two comments. I like the repurposing of this property. That's a very creative idea. And that goes along with my second comment, which is the location of this mikvah is very apropos, being right across the street from the big synagogue. And it's a very nature area, so these landscape buffers and all that to me is not really relevant. This is mostly a nature area along Bell Road, especially on the side, on the Congregation Charts-Attic side. So I'm all for this.
Okay, sounds good. I think it's a lovely design, and Myra and I actually both live in that neighborhood and drive by this all the time, and I know that the former owners, I think, struggled with people turning around in their driveway a lot, so I think for it to be a, not residential home will be a nice addition to that location. I was gonna see if any neighbors showed up and had any concerns about the wall, but since nobody has shown up and spoken, I think I'm fine with the vinyl wall. And anybody have anything else?
The fence is going to remain. They're not going to put up a wall.
Right, exactly, yep. So I was gonna see if a neighbor showed up to have anything to say. And
It's been there for a very long time. There was a time when we had their neighbor immediately to the north came here requesting a pole barn. And shortly after that, then that vinyl fence was put in.
Okay.
I can't tell you what year, but I remember that happening. And as far as the home, it was a disaster before the Izzo family bought it. The garage was falling apart. Someone had missed a corner with their car and had rammed into it, and it was a mess. I have to commend the Izzos. It had been a total eyesore, and they put sweat equity into it and brought it up to a nice little piece of property. They took very good care of it. It wasn't always the case.
Yeah. Okay, will you make the motion for us,
Sure, I'd be happy to. Regarding ZBA case 19-0021, where the appellant, Sherry Levy, representing the owners, John and Emily Izzo, are requesting a variance of landscaping on the west side of the site, a variance of 5 feet of landscaping on the north side of the site, a variance of 18 feet 8 inches on the east side of the building setback, and a variance of 32 feet on the north side building setback to the property located on the northeast corner of 11 Mile Road and Bell Road.
You forgot one.
Yep, you missed 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, variance to permit a 6-foot-high vinyl fence in lieu of the required masonry wall.
Thank you.
The property located on the corner of 11 Mile and Bell Road, Sidwell parcel 2416-453-015 at 22960 West 11 Mile Road, zone single-family residential. I move that we grant these waivers. The reasons for this grant would be that the east and north side yard building setback variances requested will have minimal adverse effect on the surrounding properties, especially since the proposed structure with future additions will be in line with the existing home to the east. Additionally, the existing 6-foot vinyl fence and tree line to the north and the existing fence to the east with large rain garden will provide adequate buffer for the residents to the east. The existing vinyl fence has provided adequate buffer for at least 5 years. Increasing the landscaping along Bell Road would shift the entire development further east towards the adjacent home, minimizing the buffer and decreasing the area needed for required stormwater retention. The site is unique in that there is significant 15-foot landscape strip within the Bell Road right-of-way, which provides adequate buffer from traffic on Bell Road. The proposed landscape plan indicates compliance with city ordinances pertaining to tree removal and requiring landscape area on the overall site, and will also provide curb appeal. The variance for landscaping abutting a street will have minimal adverse effect on the surrounding properties and is in character with the zoning ordinance in that the transitional nature of the area is maintained even with the deficiency in landscaping abutting the street. The property is situated at a highly trafficked intersection, and the use and proposed layout provide proper transition between the synagogue to the west and the cell tower to the south and the residential properties to the north and east. And I might add as an additional safety factor that now that we have sidewalks on the 11-mile side and on the Bell Road side, that also provides a buffer.
Excellent, thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good luck with your project. Thank you.
Very much.
All right, so next on the agenda, looks like we don't have any minutes tonight. Do we have upcoming meeting? We're uncertain of cases at this point.
Yes, if I might, through the chairs of the board, the deadline, because we, on our schedule, we only have one meeting in October, so the deadline's pushed a little bit farther out. The end of the deadline is September 30th. Right now we have...
So what day is the next meeting?
The meeting is...
Is it October 29th?
Yes.
So that's
Then-
very late. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the next meeting is October 29th.
Okay.
So far, we have 3 signed cases and 1 commercial case.
Okay, so we'll definitely have a meeting on the 29th
Yes.
then. Okay.
Oh, yes. And
Okay.
it may be a fairly busy meeting depending on what else comes in.
Okay.
But it's the nature of it, only having one meeting.
Sure. Okay. All right. Any miscellaneous?
Yes, I left in front of the board
Yes.
An article from the Planning and Zoning News, the most recent one, that actually relates to a zoning board of appeals case that you guys had for, it says Southfield Lodge, but essentially it's Marvin Gardens Inn. It was a case on non-conforming lighting at the site, and went all the way up to the Michigan Court of Appeals. Obviously, the city of Southfield won the case, and it's kind of an explanation of the arguments in the case, but it does at the end say that the variance was supported by competent material and substantial evidence, which means that the court looked at it and said basically you guys had a proper findings of fact, you issued a proper decision according to the law, which is always something good to hear, that our procedures are good and that we have good evidence to support the decisions that are made. So
I think our committee, our board did a great job, but only because you provided us a lot of evidence that helped us make
Very
a decision.
True. Very true. Okay, any other miscellaneous? Thanks. Okay, can I have a
I
motion?
make a move that we adjourn.
Can I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.